So could you give us an overview of importing and exporting?
Yeah, look, importing in Australia is 118 billion a year industry. That's 118 billion a year business. That's according to the Australian Department of Commerce and Stats. Just to give you an idea of the size of the Aussie import market, Australian imports products from hundreds of countries, ranging all the way from Japan, which is, I believe, around 15 billion annually, down to Spain, about 1 billion. I mean, can you get your mind around those sorts of numbers? That's huge. But I mean, of course, Australia also imports millions of dollars worth of products a year from much smaller countries as well. When it comes to exports, we see rather a different picture. I mean, people don't realise that only a tiny 5% of Australian manufacturers actually export. I mean, this just means that for the other 95%, the opportunity for you folks out there to operate as an agent or whatever you choose is absolutely phenomenal. I'll just say that again, only 5% of manufacturers actually export. Now, Australia exports pretty similar figures to what it imports. I believe it's around $119 billion worth of products a year to some of the cash-rich countries of the world, obviously United States, the European Union, Canada, Japan, Korea, and places such as that. You know, we're missing a huge opportunity here because Aussie firms make great products of which the world's clamouring for, but no one is representing us overseas. So come on, this is your opportunity. Get out there, do something. How long have you got left anyway? You're going to die. You're going to be looking up at the casket lid. Do something. Get out of that boring, dull 9-to-5 job. Come on, buy this course, buy another one. I don't care. Just do something.
So how and when did you get started in import-export?
The how of the journey began out of necessity. I'd imported some health minerals from the US. They were very good minerals and they did their job, but they were $120 a kilo. So I set about a research process to try and find these minerals cheaper, and that's how the whole thing began, really. It began in the shape of emails to a factory in China, and a few days later, lo and behold, I got an email back which said, "We get you on demand." And I was quite worried. I wondered what I'd done because I'd hadn't much dealing with e-commerce then. We're talking 7 or 8 years ago, and it went from there. So we were able to buy the product in at about $6 a kilo and sell it for about $50 to $60 a kilo. So that just shows you the huge profits that are available in import-export.
So how did you find out what you had to do?
This was very much a trial and error process back then. There were no videos or DVDs. There were some terrible American manuals which were so technical you'd never do anything with those. We basically just did it. Picked up the telephone, sent emails, and that was it basically. Waited until we got emails back. Asked questions at customs, import-export agents and so forth, until we developed a relationship with these people. That's literally how we started out.
So how would someone get started today?
Well, you know, without blowing your own trumpet, you'd buy a course such as this one. Even if you didn't buy this one and you invested in another one, you just make sure that the people selling you the course are not just plain old information marketers. They actually do what they're teaching. That is, they import-export. They're not just selling you the information. Then by all means, if you can find people like that, buy them from these people. That's the main criteria. Ensure that they actually do what they're talking about.
So what sorts of stuff can you import or export?
Yeah, that's probably not the right question. The right question is, what's the market that offers me the best profit? But in as far as what can you import, export, well, obviously just about everything that's legal. From the export perspective, obviously wine is a big issue. You might find someone in England that's keen to take on a very small winery production over here, in which case you get in contact with the would-be buyer over there, find out what they'd be prepared to pay, then approach the producer of the wine in Australia, find out what they're prepared to sell it to you at, do the math on the export side of things, add 10 to 15% profit for yourself, and there you are. You need not actually have to put in a cent of your own money in a deal like this. What we have here is a 20-foot sea container. This is how your fortunes are made in import-export. Your freight on one of these approximately is going to be about $1,800 on a 20-footer, so and you approximately double that, a little bit less for a 40-footer. Okay, why are we looking at something as mundane as a pallet? Well, a pallet can give you a lot of grief if you have the wrong sort imported, so it's always best to go for a plastic or a composite material. Composite material is like an MDF or a mixture of materials. Anything that's not raw wood, anything that is raw wood and contains bark will give you a lot of grief from customs, quarantine and everything like that. So you've always got to insist when you're importing that you've got plastic or composite pallets. This particular one measures about 1.2 metres by 1.2 metres square. Which is about the norm, because you have two of these babies alongside each other with a little bit of overhang, and that's how you fill your containers up. Okay, let's take a look in a typical 20-foot shipping container.
So, do you need your own shipping container?
No way. We use this more as you would a garage or a shed. Plus the fact we recently moved house, so that's why we've got it. But the reason for showing you guys out there in this introductory DVD is just to point out this is, we've got maybe half of a shipment of a mineral left here. Not going to tell you what it is because we still make a shitload of money with it every year. But everything you see here is pure profit. So there's probably another $20,000 sitting here, and that's just profit. The profit's already been made on the balance that we've already sold. So if you don't think import-export is lucrative, then you're living in cloud cookie land, because it's very lucrative. And these babies here that cost about $3,000 US, that's it. That's all they cost. So that gives you an idea.